Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Monday night with the Five Guys on Live. Vince, Rodney, and CJ, how you guys doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I am well. We got a lot to talk about. Rodney, how are you? You're still muted. I just unmuted you. I tried to.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I'm blessed and highly favored. It has been a wonderful and sad week at the same time for me because we lost two great leaders of our nation. But I just got okay to be doing some stuff in Cali, so I'm really excited about that. That's all about it.
So, tell us very briefly, Rodney, what did you get okay to do in Cali?
Well, I can't talk about too much, but I will be working on a show. I will be the host for Backstage. I'm so excited. I went to an interview with Zoom on Sunday, and I got to okay back today. So, that's good.
Congratulations, Rodney. This has been for you something that has been in the process, in the works. You have been on your grind for a long time. Making and working. We need everybody, mute if you're not talking because I can hear that. I can already hear that echo, hear that background. So you've been working on this, building towards this, grinding towards this for quite a while. So I'm excited for you. And again, I am here a part of this and attached to this vision because I firmly believe in you and the men that make up Five Guys on Live and the work that you're going to continue to do, regardless of the type of cups you choose to drink out of. Some of us choose to drink out of glass plasticware. And with that being said, speaking of plasticware, CJ, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. Thanks for asking.
You have a great haircut. Great haircut. You took it low, beard on point. You are right now at home. When you say you're home, now where is home for you? For our viewers and who are there. And look, Rodney, Mama Kirk says she's proud of you. Now, CJ,
thank you, Mama Kirk.
Where are you right now?
What'd you say?
Yeah, where is home? You say you are home. Where
I am home. I'm in Connecticut, not North Carolina, since you like to clearly point that out. But I'm home in Connecticut.
Okay, you're home in Connecticut, and you're celebrating your mom's birthday. So let everybody give a huge happy birthday to CJ.
Yes,
aww.
She is 59 years old. 59 years young today.
That's right, 59 years young. We celebrate this queen who gave birth to you and all that she's done in her life to foster and create such an amazing young man who is doing so many great and wonderful things.
I appreciate that so much. Thank you. That means a lot.
We also want to ask that everyone who is out there, please pray for our fifth member, Ryan Slack's mom, who had surgery today. I found out yesterday that she was having surgery today. I've been in continuous prayer for her, to uplift her, to pray healing over her, swift recovery over her, and not one beat missed at this time. So please pray for Ryan's mom and pray for his family and for Ryan during this time. Vince, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. Just steady quarantining.
So we're gonna, this big issue. I saw your post earlier today. You are ready and excited to talk about, I'm assuming, this young man right here. Vince, tell us about Cannon and your vigilant support of this platform.
Right. So basically, my perspective of it all, and this also correlates to, I guess, what we may talk about in a further topic in terms of cancel culture. I think that is levels to cancel culture that sort of need to be identified. I definitely believe in that people need to be held accountable, but just like there's levels to different misdemeanors, I think that depending on the quote unquote crime, if you will, for lack of a better word, should we throw people away immediately, or should we educate and have them go through a process and then have them come back around and maybe suspend them or, you know, have them placed on a brief hiatus, whatever that looks like in the entertainment world. I feel like that, you know, ignorance, what combats ignorance is education. And clearly he admitted to it that he was not fully educated in, you know, just the whole Jewish community and, you know, why that comment could have or was taken so serious as it definitely was, and rightfully so. However, in my opinion, if someone is willingly admitting that, okay, I was not as educated in this area of things, but I am allowing and open myself to become more educated so I won't make these same mistakes because I want to have our Jewish brothers and sisters as allies, if you will, then I think that's admirable. And I think he should take that journey in doing that. So when he can come back at a later moment or a later date, he has more insight, more knowledge, and can speak from a higher perspective and a more well-rounded perspective. So that's all I was saying. And then on the other coin, you know, with the whole cancel culture and stuff like that, with even Nick Cannon, like, is he really canceled though? Because Fox didn't pull their the Max Singer opportunity away from him either. So, you know, I think there's other opportunities that he'll definitely create, you know,
what network did you say?
Fox, which is weird, you know, which is weird. It is weird, but the question still remains: is he still canceled though? If he's still working in,
he's not canceled because Diddy. He had a lot of people support him, and Diddy also said whatever he could not do that he would pick up on reroll.
Correct, I agree. So that's all basically I was saying. And as for us as the community and just as the entire participants of cancel culture, we have to be a little bit more apprehensive in immediately just taking somebody off the planet. That's how I feel.
Brother Vince, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. Because
let's talk about it.
And let me say this. Because if this was a white person describing like Charles Darwin did back in the day, how he described us as monkeys and subprimates and less than, that's horrible. Nick Cannon know better. And I feel like it's unfortunate. Like, I love Nick. But it's unfortunate this time it was a black person who did it. And if we want to end racism, I have to see it from both sides of the spectrum, we have to cancel on both sides. We can't cancel one side when they make a mistake and not cancel the other. So we're going to do that, which is, I see what you're saying. So we're going to educate people. We have to extend that olive branches on both sides. That's because, not just because he was black, let's say the black guy, because what he said was wrong. And if you did read about Jewish side people, the genocide, it was horrible. There was concentration camps. Like, it is horrible. There's no way he did not know about that. So when you go talk to the woke community, because he was talking to a woke person, let's just call a spade. And when you say something that's insensitive, you have to realize the things you say are hurtful. And you know, so we have to be mindful on both sides, from the black side and the white side and all the other nationalities out there in the world, that we cannot say what we want without any repercussions.
Yeah, I agree 100%. 100% with that. I just think it's still important and vital that whoever makes these mistakes still finds the help and assistance that they need to get more educated and insightful in these areas to not come back around and make the same mistake. Because again, like CJ just said, he's not canceled. He's not. He's still going to be on mainstream television regardless, you know? So yeah.
So
absolutely,
but CJ, you can go. I'm going to mute myself.
No, but I was going to say, and also I had heard that he had mentioned something about now he wanted to end his life now that he made this comment.
So here's a brief, look at Rodney. Rodney is smiling because Rodney is ready. Rodney, I am going to do my very best to remain tempered about this topic. It is a topic that I'm very, very passionate about. Everything that Rodney says, I 120% agree with. We are wanting allies throughout the entire push to demand an end to systemic oppression, but yet and still we turn right around and slap our allies in the face when we allow people to levy hate against them, especially if those people are from our own community. This is the way allyship works. You police your own community from the inside, and you let the allies police their communities from the outside to protect the work that we have to dissemble racism. Nick Cannon is a grown man who benefits from the privilege of wealth. His talents have opened the door for him and made way for him to give him more than what most of us have. He knew better than to say the hateful things that he said. This man literally accused people of the Jewish community of being evil, savage monsters. There is no doubt in my mind that not one person on this live cast would allow white people to say that about any black person. Yet and still, we are quick to rush to defend Nick Cannon. What Nick Cannon said was hateful and it was dangerous because he has a platform for it. But even more so than that, when you watch the interview and you hear the even worse things come out of Professor Griff's mouth, it was absolutely criminal. It was hate speech at the highest level of hate speech. What Professor Griff, this man has built his whole life attacking black women. Professor Griff feels that black women should always be under the foot of a black man. Professor Griff believes that homosexuals need to be completely removed from the black community. Professor Griff says all the problems that we face as black people in America falls on the Jewish people. The fact that Nick Cannon gave this man a platform on his podcast, livecast, TV show speaks to the character of Nick Cannon. I cannot believe anybody in the black community would be wanting to support and stand behind this kind of rhetoric and this kind of hate. And I agree, Vince, people can make mistakes and not everybody should be canceled. But from those of us who have been given more than us, we have to hold them to a higher level of responsibility.
I'm going to say this. I'm not going to say I'm against them having a conversation with people like Professor Griff, because we need to keep that open line of communication on both sides. Because you need to know how people feel. And sometimes you can educate and help someone out. However, his viewpoint shouldn't have been stand behind Professor Griff. He shouldn't have even agreed to that. He says, well, that's how you feel. That's your right. But this is how I feel on my side. When you like what Zachary is saying, when you say hurtful stuff, you guys like that, all you guys are watching, because clearly I'm not all the way black. I'm just gonna call it like it. Clearly I'm not, but I am black. Does that make sense? So it does make sense.
No, Rodney, that doesn't make sense. Why don't you?
That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense.
Can I explain myself? So
explain yourself to me,
you don't know if my dad is Jewish. You don't know if my grandmother was a Jew. You don't know whatever. So you don't know who you might affect when you say things. Because you know you look black don't mean all the way black. Does that make sense? Did that clear up for you guys? No. Well, I said about what I said.
So, and again, I mean, this is a really. And CJ, when you say that he's not canceled, he will have the support of a faction of people, but he is not going to have his platform brought back. This man built a whole entire brand around wilding out. That brand belongs to Viacom.
Nick Cannon had a brand before Wilding Out.
Fox can give him all the they want to, exactly. And his Revolt TV that has
Zachary. Nick Cannon had a brand before. Nick Cannon had a brand before Wilding Out. Be clear with that. He had a brand before Wilding Out. So I want you to know that. I mean, he had his hand in a lot of other things.
Yeah, tell me about it. Like,
he played a huge part. He played a huge part in Nickelodeon. Okay, he had a short-lived rap career. He is an actor, and he was also hosting other TV shows. Wild Out just took him to another plateau, which allowed other people to make a platform for themselves as well. But Nick Cannon was very wealthy before Wild Out.
Correct.
I agree with Mark. It not only was a corny brand.
Let me tell you something. Nickelodeon alone made.
No, but I'm sorry, but regardless if it was a corny brand or the most dope brand on the planet, the root of the fact of the matter is that he still had a brand, regardless of how you view it or not. He was still working. He was still successful. He was still doing things with Teen Nick at Night, Nickelodeon. They gave him a huge.
Yeah, he owns a lot within Nickelodeon.
He got mainstream and so on and so forth. He literally has been a pretty instrumental in terms of pop culture for millennials that have been 80s and 90s kids and stuff like that.
Major foundations. I think he has a foundation,
and that's understandable.
Does he have a foundation for lupus? I think he has a foundation for lupus. He does a lot within the community as well. So Nick Cannon has built his brand from a very young age. Him and Keenan and Kel, they were all in it together.
You know what? Let me say this. Maybe I have disrespected your young experiences, right? As younger people, I'm older. I didn't watch Nick Cannon. Let me tell you something.
Zachary, you're only older than me by like Zachary. You're only
I did
older than me
not
by like 3
watch
years.
him on Nickelodeon growing up. We couldn't afford cable television. I didn't have that network. So
But
I
you saw
don't have
Drumline.
a
Did you see
connection
Drumline?
to him. I have never liked the man's work, and I'm in no way offended. But even if I was the world's biggest, if Beyonce knows, and Zachary Kirk loves some Beyonce knows, if Beyonce knows got on public airing and said what he said about any group of people, I would no longer be able to support Beyonce knows.
Respect the brand is all I'm saying.
I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna show you when you need to own your own stuff. Okay, when you help build a brand like that, and they can just kick you off to the side. I mean, I get it. I'd be pissed too. I'd probably burn the whole network down. Ain't no way gonna remove me and beseat me when I help build y'all. Because Wild Now is his platform. I can't see anybody else taking
Right,
over.
but he didn't own the. But see, my thing is, if he knew it was going to be so successful, he should have owned the rights to it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You need to own your
Now
stuff.
he's trying to fight to own the rights to it.
But
Right.
he probably sold those rights. He probably got a large chunk of change when he sold off those rights and signed the paperwork to give them ownership of the brand. So he's benefited from the brand. He just may have expended the income from the brand.
Well, for me, I don't want to rest on hypotheticals because none of us
Hey,
are
bro.
privy to those. I don't want to rest on hypotheticals because none of us are privy to those backdoor conversations and we don't know what his contract is or what have you. But one thing that I will say, looking at the entire apparatus from a national perspective, whether you're blue, whether you're red, white or black, support them or not, it behooves me that we can have a man in the White House that blatantly says crazy ass shit about any other demographic, any other race, any other community, any other culture, and he's still doing it. Ain't no cancellation coming to him. You get what I'm saying? But then when it comes to other people that may not be the quote unquote president of the United States, maybe just a normal celebrity or what have you, then we ready to, take them out and turn them over here and put them to pasture like the cows or what have you. So I just want to make sure, and I know in terms of us gentlemen, we probably are definitely keeping that same energy when it comes to Trump and when it comes to his party and saying terrible things about different colors and different communities and stuff like that. But it's like we got to make sure that it's even and just keeping that same energy across the board because this man is still existing and I'm not justifying it. Exactly, what's wrong is wrong, but at the same time, Marshall Clinton Jr. is still persisting in the government today and in many other areas as well. So just like Rodney said, if we're gonna call a spade, if we're gonna call a thing, we're gonna say Nick Cannon is canceled and we taking him out of here and keep that same energy with everybody else, and that's real. I'm not justifying nothing. Zachary.
You are justifying. And let me just explain this. And let me just echo
that same energy for everybody else.
But Vince, we do keep that same energy.
I'm saying on a national apparatus.
Your president is attacked.
I'm not talking about your experience. I'm saying it from a national perspective. I know Zachary Kirk. I believe what Zachary Kirk is saying, but you can't speak for your neighbor. You can't speak for Sister Cheryl 3 doors down. You can't speak to your 34th Instagram follower.
The same Sister Cheryl that doesn't police and recognize what Donald Trump does wrong is the same Sister Cheryl that is sitting here laughing at Nick Cannon making fun and attacking Jewish people. It's the same person. It's the exact same thing. And what I'm saying is this: decent people have to stand up and argue and fight against those people that are not decent people. And when you attack, if you are attacking Jewish people, black people, gay people, white people with hate speech, you're not a good person. And you're also not a good person when you uphold it and you protect it.
Correct.
That's what I believe.
Correct. 100%. Keep that same energy across the board.
I think you're misunderstanding what Brother Vince is saying. Because I agree, because I made a status about that. I said, hell, Trump should have been canceled. But unfortunately, with the power being said, the Republicans not going to let his ass go anywhere. But I do agree with what's wrong is wrong, and so you have to do it on all sides. And unfortunately, Trump's not one who is like kind of immune right now. But the rest of y'all need to watch. Y'all not Donald Trump. You can't go on no hate train think you're gonna be okay because you're not in the White House. So let that be right there.
Well, in addition, this leads to a much bigger argument around the whole concept of what Republicans have dubbed cancel culture. I don't like to say that term. The term cancel culture is being used to attack the concept of Black culture having the right to say that someone's canceled when they do something that is offensive or that is wrong. And not just Black culture, but all cultures. But Black people were the first ones to make a big deal on what's known as Black Twitter about someone being offensive and then getting canceled. I want to know what your thoughts are about this whole concept of cancel culture. Some people are saying Nick Cannon is canceled. Some people are holding to the fact that the clothing brand H&M is canceled for having posted this ad where the young Black man is the coolest monkey in the jungle, and the young white boy gets to be the tiger catcher in the advertisement. There is a lot of talk about that. In addition, many members of the Latinx and Hispanic community are saying that they have canceled Goya Food and I too, and standing behind them in that cancellation of Goya Food after they have supported the president and who he is now supporting back. And then last but not least, a boycott of Wendy's, when the largest owner or the person who owns the most Wendy's franchises has also given large amounts of money to the re-election campaign of President Donald Trump. I want to know from the gentlemen on the panel tonight, what are your honest thoughts around cancel culture? Have we gone too far in our efforts to police hate speech and offensive language?
I want to speak from the Black culture. From Kevin Hart, right? Kevin Hart made a comment about if his son was gay, which was a joke and a stand-up comedy. Let me finish. Kevin Hart made a joke about if my son was gay, I want to hit him on the head with a truck. It's comedy. We talk about crackheads. We talk about all kind of people in comedy. We say a lot of stuff in comedy, right? It's comedy. So I think certain avenues should not be considered as being canceled, because if we gonna exclude one joke from a joke, everything else will be excluded. I know people who have crackhead parents, who was a crack baby. So we're going to say, oh, well, you can't talk about gay people. Again, we have to do that for everybody. Everybody can be offended. You get what I'm saying? So when it comes to comedians, I don't think their jokes should be taken so heavy. Oh my God, like it's whatever. Because at the end of the day, it's a joke. This is their job. This is what they do. And, sometimes I find it very, very funny that we hold actors and actresses in the highest standard than our local officials, when they can say all kind of hateful shit and they'll never go anywhere. Again, i.e. Trump. So with that being said, I am not all here for the council community, because sometimes I don't agree with everything they say. But when it comes to things that are hurtful and hateful, when I can see like, damn, that's kind of effed up, I'm here for it. But I give a council community like a 3 out of 10 on my end.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with what Rodney said. If it's something I see personally, then I'm all for it, then like canceling the culture. But if it's not, I don't think it's something that's too offensive or whatever. I don't see the purpose of canceling it, for me personally. Like the whole H&M thing, that thing happened back in 2016, I want to say, or 2017. And people still support H&M, and H&M still stands strong. So, I mean, that's just my opinion on that, though.
Yeah, I agree with you both. I think a piece of the cancel culture that is a little agitating is when people dig up, like, I want to say agitating, but it's, thought-provoking, if you will, is when people dig up like past comments, past tweets from what they said 15 years ago, 30 years ago, who I was married to 50 years ago, and they may have evolved and immersed themselves into things that they were against once upon a time, but because they're bringing people, whoever it is, sources, quote unquote, are bringing it back up decades later, and now they're having to revisit and relive and explain, and now they got to show receipts on this is how I've changed and all this stuff to prevent being canceled. I think that part is just a little side-eyeing to me, because people can change. We've all changed. We've all evolved. We all don't think the same. We're constantly renewing our mind. as we all should as human beings, period. You get what I'm saying? So that's the piece of the cancel culture that irritates me. It's just that past stuff, you know.
And I also feel like if you think about brands and brands that we support and things that we buy, I'm pretty sure that you can go through a plethora of brands and find someone who supported a Republican Party, who has made a racial comment about a black person or a black community. I'm sure you could find a plethora of things that were said that was offensive, but you guys still support them, whether you know about it or not.
That's real. I believe it.
Well, don't let me find out.
There was rumors years ago when I was younger that Tommy Hilfiger was a racist, but you seen Aaliyah being a campaign spokesmodel for him. You seen Tyson Beckford being a spokesmodel for them. You seen, Jaden Smith. So it's like, how true are these comments when people are making these alleged comments?
Tommy Hilfiger did, CJ, and some people would say they sold for money, and
Who was Tommy Hilfiger?
a couple of dollars.
No, I said. Zachary, I said back in the day when I was younger.
And after those comments came to light, everyone in the black community stopped wearing that trash.
That's not true.
But did they? Is that factual?
People still, and truthfully, I have
walking around wearing Hilfiger clothes.
My brother Dante still wear.
I know a few people.
I know quite a few people that still wear it, to be honest with you.
Right.
So here we go, Dante. Go ahead, and that's what I'm saying. He's a proud wearer of Tommy Hilfiger. I just want you to know Tommy Hilfiger called you the N-word, and he's glad that you N-word wear Hilfiger. But I did away with that off the bat. Candace, you can take those towels, you can wipe your feet with them. Now let me say, I'm joking, but let me say this. When it comes down, and I am 100% for cancel culture, because that is the power that we have as a community to leverage our dollars and to come together with our resources to have an actual impact on the bigger picture. When you say something that is offensive to a group of people, that goes beyond a mistake, that goes beyond free speech, that falls into the realm of hate speech, you absolutely have to suffer the consequences of your actions. There are people that have made legitimate mistakes and legitimate errors, and I have sympathized and I have not canceled. But when you are a major corporation, absolutely, you are, to me, should face the consequences of your actions. And I think it's okay to support the political candidate of your choice. I don't have a problem with Wendy's supporting Donald Trump. I don't have a problem with Chick-fil-A supporting Donald Trump. Chick-fil-A has the right to say they don't really like and favor black people or gay people. They have that right. They can do that. They're an independent organization. But I also have the right to say that my money, my dollars, my hard-earned income will not support or purchase one single thing that you have, because you hate me and you hate people like me. And that goes for Nick Cannon, because I support the Jewish community. That goes for Sean Combs if he doesn't support that community. And it goes for Professor Griff and Charlemagne the Gadfly. I stand in solidarity with every single person who fights and stands against hate, regardless of your race and regardless of your background.
So I got a question, because in the midst of the racial climate that we're in right now, and I've been completely shell-shocked with the blatant amount of just ignorance. Like, people are just ignorant these days. Like, I've had some conversations with some Caucasian friends of mine that have grown up with nothing but Caucasian people, and when they're they leave college or they leave high school and they get around other minorities and other people, communities of color, they've never experienced and don't know a filter, don't know the knowledge, don't know anything about anybody's background. And so now that all this stuff has hit a fan of recently, it's just blatant uneducation, just ignorance, if you will. And I think we see that with a lot of celebrities. I agree with you with the corporation thing, because that's on them. They know how to have a diversity board if they wanted to. They definitely have had that power. But for me, it's like, I can't teach someone to be human, but at the same time, it's like, if you genuinely say that you don't know, and a lot of celebrities that come out saying that they didn't know the full extent or how severe this comment or this was to whatever community, whatever their comment may have affected them, then it's like, how do we hold them accountable? It's like, all right, do we educate them, like I said with Nick Cannon, and give them another try? Or like because that seems to be a common or a trending thing that happens nowadays. I don't know, because I'm ignorant. I legit did not know. You get what I'm saying? So how you feel about that, Zachary Kirk and Rodney?
I absolutely, Vince, support the idea of educating people, helping them understand. But it comes to a certain point. There is, Nick Cannon is a 40-year-old plus man. We're not talking about August Alsina. If August Alsina would have got up and said these things in his interview where he talked about his entanglement with Jada Pinkett Smith, that is someone. 38 years old. You said what happened?
He's 38. Nick Cannon.
Regardless, he's not 28 years old like August Alsina. I feel as though a young man, regardless of his or her race, or a young person, regardless of his or her race, absolutely can benefit from the education that goes about. But this Nick Cannon at 38 years old, having been married to Mariah Carey, having seen the whole entire world, having more financial resources than what the four of us have probably combined, there is no excuse for that level of ignorance. That didn't come from a lack of education. That came from a place of hate. And that hate may have been something he was raised with. I understand that. But we have all been given opportunities to dismantle the hateful thinking that was ingrained in us by society. In the same way that I had it ingrained in me and could deconstruct it, Nick Cannon had the exact same thing. Discernment is a gift that some have more than others, but God gave everybody the ability to reason out truth from lies, love from hate. And so I still can't I can't forgive him again. You guys,
so, beyond
Nick Cannon, you guys can laugh with Nick Cannon. You can just have a good time with Nick Cannon and them kids with Mariah, them glasses them babies wear. But I will never be able to support him again. That's Zachary.
I just want to say that I can see where you're coming from. However, like I said, it's sometimes we gotta stop playing dumb. If you know how to open your mouth and talk about hateful stuff, you know what you're saying. You have a brain. Nick Cannon is not mentally challenged. He is not slow. He did not do the cookie class in school. So when you say things, no, for real, we had a cookie class in school. For real, my cousin was in it. Like, I support it. I think it gives like children like that who can't, do very well in life something to do. Now I support that. But however, let me move on. But
let me just say to everybody in the able-minded, able-bodied community, Rodney meant no offense. It was a compliment to those people that may have, for whatever reason, a number of mental health impairments or mental challenges, regardless of what the case may be.
Yeah. Well, Zach, I know. I mean, it's okay. But
please don't cancel Rodney.
It's okay. But I truly feel like when you have a fully functioning brain, when you can think and do stuff for yourself, when you say hateful stuff like that, Vince, I can't give you a pass. And like you and Zach are kind of saying the same thing, but y'all like parallel right now. I don't care you white, black, blue, green, whatever. When you say something hateful and when you speak out against hate, it has to be dealt with. And just like Jada Pinkett Smith, she was dead ass wrong what she did to August Alsina. I don't care what nobody say, because that was Will Smith who did to a girl who was mentally going through mental stuff and going through diseases and all this other stuff. He would have been, oh my God, chopped. He would have been counseled. But because it's Jada Pinkett Smith, it's a black female, we got to look out. No. Because when somebody is at their lowest low in their life, when they dealing with dying and mentally depressed, you're using that boy to ride like a porn star. That's like he said in his lyrics. Like, you use that young man for sex because you was going through something with Will. That's called spade a spade. She was dead ass wrong. And I'm done with my conversation. And also to the people, I did not mean any ill will towards anybody who's mentally challenged.
I just wanted to piggyback on what Dante said. That he said that we were all a bunch of hypocrites.
Tread lightly, it's my brother.
I need more clarity on that. On how we all hypocrites.
Your brother can get the heat too. Your brother can get the heat.
That is
Right. How are we all hypocrites?
Deborah
I want to
Kirk
know.
can get the heat. Deborah Kirk can get some heat too.
I just want to know how we're all hypocrites. He said that we all support brands that have talked about Black people or something like that.
Well, until my brother's defense, Dante, I would say if when it does come out, when they do hateful things, I'll tell you, I will cancel him. You know me very well. So I get what he's saying. He didn't word it right. He used wrong verbiage.
Okay.
So Valerie, you need to just gear up, Valerie. You need to stay on the call because we have some things coming up that I know I'm going to need your insight on regarding decisions that were made today. So you can just make sure that you are right there, screencast or mirrorcast, broadcast what he needs you to say to talk about what's coming up. We are going. So this is another question I have. We talked about mental health and we talked about wellness. On yesterday, this young man right here came out and said some things regarding his mental health. President Donald Trump did now I would have to say this is an infamous interview. So I woke up on Sunday, and on every Sunday I do 3 things to start my Sunday now in quarantine. I am going to watch Meet the Press on NBC. I'm going to watch This Week with George Stephanopoulos on ABC. And I'm going to, then at 12 o'clock, live stream Impact Church, Impact United Methodist Church in Atlanta.
Hold on, Zach, I have a question real quick. You
Yeah.
support Fox News? I thought you counseled them.
Let me get to my point. So I want to just lay the foundation very briefly for everybody because I do not support Fox News and I haven't watched Fox News or watched a program on Fox News in the existence of Fox News. Chris Wallace, I don't know if you remember the name, he's the son of Mike Wallace, trusted CBS anchor at one point, host of 60 Minutes. I always loved Mike Wallace and I trusted that name and that brand name in journalism. In addition to that, I used to watch a program back in my day, you gentlemen may be too young, called Prime Time on Thursday nights. It was with Diane Sawyer and Chris Wallace. He was often on Prime Time.
I remember.
And I like Chris Wallace, but when Chris Wallace went over to the Fox News Network, Zachary Kirk could not watch and follow him. But by 1 o'clock on Sunday, I received alert after news alert, Twitter after Twitter alert, saying that this was one of the best interviews they've ever seen on Fox News. And being a news and political junkie, I absolutely had to watch the program. So at 7 p.m. yesterday, they re-showed the broadcast, and I recorded it on my DVR so I could watch this broadcast and see it for myself, what was said and then what happened. And I was moderately impressed by Chris Wallace's interview style, and I was not surprised at some of the things that Donald Trump said, but I wanted to bring it up and kind of get the opinions of our viewers as well as the opinions of the 4 gentlemen. And of course, if you weren't able to catch it, because it just happened yesterday, you can ask questions now. I'm happy to answer, kind of tell you what it was about.
I didn't catch it, so
you're
saying Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, what have you heard?
No, you were saying Donald Trump, he was talking about mental health issues that he has personally.
So Donald Trump made several accusations, continuously repeating the narrative that Vice President Biden may have dementia. He said he took a dementia test that was 30 questions. He aced the test, highest score possible. Chris Wallace countered on the interview and said that he took the test too, and it wasn't that hard. Like, you don't have dementia. You don't have dementia. That was one thing. Chris Wallace also grilled President Trump on the rising COVID-19 numbers. President Trump continuously says that COVID-19 has decreased the mortality rate in America. That we know it's a lie because we don't just watch Fox News. But for Fox News watchers, it was groundbreaking because many people who watch Fox News, it is the highest rated television news network in the country. That's all they watch. They only watch Fox News. And so for Chris Wallace to say that President Trump was wrong, that President Trump was telling lies, and showing that to the viewers of Fox News, it really was kind of groundbreaking. And we have a lot of viewers who caught it. And this is Dante explaining to you, CJ, what he meant about we still support racist brands. And then what was there. And he also, you're right, James, he also told several lies on Vice President Biden, really trying to sell the narrative that President Biden wants to defund the police, deregulate cities, and his constant issue is that it's going to lead to mad chaos around America. That is the scare tactic the Republican Party is now selling to suburban America. He also says that Joe Biden wants to eliminate suburbs. All of this rhetoric is being spread as an argument against the Black Lives Matter movement and against the defund the police movement that unfortunately a number of Republicans and conservatives are buying into because they're being inundated from the president.
Yeah,
let me. Oh, okay, go. You go, Vince. Go.
With those things, Chris Wallace, which I give him a standing ovation, was holding Trump completely accountable and was retaliating with the facts and the statistics of whatever Trump was spewing. For me, Trump just seemed very unhinged, especially when it came to the mortality rate conversation. And he was yelling to his assistant, "Somebody go get me the numbers. Somebody get the numbers. Somebody get the numbers." And we're like, "Were you not briefed? Why don't you know your own facts and statistics yourself?" You get what I'm saying? And he was just very, very all over the place. And Chris was like clapping back, like in real time. "No, that's a lie. Joe Biden did not say he wants to defund the police. No, no, no." And so to Zachary's point, for Fox News, which is, caters to Trump's base, to Trumplicans, if you will, it was very groundbreaking that you had this amazing opportunity and this amazing dialogue and conversation to hold him accountable in real time. Now, moving forward, I highly don't believe, or whatever the word is, I don't see Chris Wallace ever doing an interview with Trump ever again. Like, I just don't see it. I don't think that Trump will put himself in that environment. Unhinged and ill-equipped, because he needs to have that conversation with people that is going to be in agreement, in alignment with him. And if you come in with me with any type of resistance, I don't want nothing to do with you. At the end of the day, you'll never come into this Rose Garden conversation again. So I highly doubt, that's what I meant to say. I highly doubt Chris Wallace will have any type of speaking conversation with Trump ever again.
I agree. Say, I feel like Trump is doing what the Democratic Party did when they were against Black people back in the day during Wilmington, North Carolina. Trump is trying to put this narrative about the people who are very easy influence, that Biden is incompetent, he's dementia, so he get those votes. So unfortunately, he's doing a tactic that has been done many, many years ago. It's being repeated over and over again. And if y'all have not known what I'm talking about, please look up Wilmington, North Carolina. The story about what happened there was horrible. It's horrendous. It's horrible. So I feel like Trump is doing that same thing, trying to put out these ads, trying to put out these hate speech against Biden, to where his followers who don't think for themselves, I call them dummies, his dummies going to say, "Oh, Trump said he's this, so I'm going to leave what Trump said." And they don't do their research. So that's unfortunate.
Dante, will you please tell us why, Vice President Joe Biden scares you? Let us know. I think it's always good.
I want to know why too.
Perspective. We are absolutely. I'm going to have to do a whole entire interview with Dante Wash, because I need to know why you feel this way. So if you could just give us briefly in your own words why you are afraid of Joe Biden, because I think that there are more Black men who feel this way than what I know, or who won't admit it. So I want you to share that with me. You were saying something, I think, CJ or Vince.
I want to add something. There was one. Oh, my bad, CJ. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I want to know why Biden scares him.
I did want to add something. I feel like Trump gave us a hint as to what to expect from him in the future in regards to November's voting cycle. One of the first questions, I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Zachary, that was posed to him is that in the event that you lose, will you admit or concede to being lost, to have lost, the race? And he was very adamant. No, I don't think I will. No, because no. And for me, I'm receiving it as you got something up your sleeve So in the event that you do lose in November, only God knows what machine, what tampering, what Russia, what China, what whomever gonna come out the woodwork to assist in validating why you feel like you did not lose and win. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like for me, that was a red flag for us as a community to really make sure that we're registered to vote, that we're in the midst of these campaigning stations, that we are early voting, whatever we got to do to clean up our whatever. You get what I'm saying? Because
Right.
Trump is up to something in November if he lose. I'm putting that out there now.
I want Deborah. I want you to tell
Can I
us.
address my brother, please?
Just wait one moment. One moment. I'm gonna let you address him, Ryan. Give me one moment. I just want it before it scrolls away. Deborah, I want you to tell us who you think will be the right running mate. Although I think I already know who you would select, and then Rodney, you can speak to your brother, who obviously is a medical professional and can talk to us about dementia.
Oh my God. Okay, Dante. When you say things like this, it scares my heart. It scares
You
my
can say
soul.
it, Dante. I support your free speech.
Black people who think like Dante, please stop sharing negative things about Joe Biden. Do you want Joe or do you want goddamn orange face? Pick a side. Because when you talk negative about him, people might not think enough to whatever and will agree with you because what you said. So when you put out things, make sure it's positive. Because Joe, I like Joe. I ain't gonna say nothing. I like Joe. Joe is gonna beat Donald Trump. I'm here for it. I don't care what he fumble on, whatever he do. I like him. Anybody, again, it's better to run his country than Donald Trump. So if we have Joe Biden, can any black person please stop trying to tear down Joe Biden? Just like got during what's his face, Chance the Rapper. I'm tired of him. Like, what do y'all want? Y'all talk about how y'all don't want Trump. Y'all don't want this, but y'all dog the man who running against him. Make it make sense to me. Please.
Dante,
please.
you have a right to your freedom of speech, and Joe Biden is not beyond reproach or critique or criticism. You have the right, but be informed and have some facts. Many of us have also talked about the mental state. Valerie points out the mental state of Ronald Reagan, who actually was in the stages of actually early of onset, the real onset of Alzheimer's. But what about the mental state of this young man right here? That is Kanye West, who over the weekend had a campaign rally in South Carolina where he said that Harriet Tubman did not contribute to the freedom of slaves and actually gave them away to other white people, and a lot of other things that were highly controversial. I want to know, gentlemen in the audience, what are your thoughts regarding the Kanye West breakdown?
I want to say this because my cousin, I'm sorry, okay. I want to say because my cousin voted, because I asked that question on Instagram on my page, and I was very intrigued to see who was going to agree with him. And this is why she said it. And I'm not going to say my cousin's name because, I'm not going to do that. Okay. She said, yes, only because I get where he was trying to say. His intentions were definitely to free the slaves. No, her intentions were definitely to free the slaves. But at the end of the day, white folks still is in charge, and we are still working for them today. That's what he meant. I think most people interpret it as she was helping white people undercover, which I don't think he meant that at all. He just needs to articulate himself better because, in a way, he was actually right. And that came from my cousin.
Okay, good. So in regard to the Kanye West situation, about his entire mental state, I am very empathetic and sympathetic towards him. I know the loss of his mother was very detrimental to him and affected him a lot. I really am curious to see how much compassion and care his team and his family has for him to consistently allow him to come out and just do things that are completely abnormal, that are received and perceived to be completely unhinged. And it's very unfortunate. In regard to the specific breakdown piece of his campaign rally in South Carolina, he basically spoke about the possibility of North being aborted. And in the midst of explaining that story, he went and told everybody that he could have possibly been aborted because his father didn't want him. And he said that to say, in the event that he was aborted, that we will never know the genius of Kanye West. And so he utilized both of those abortion conversations as a launching pad to basically be pro-choice, pro-life. My apologies, pro-life. And he said, in the event that a child is born in that situation, if he is elected president, then he will give each baby, household parent, whatever, $50,000 to care for that child, because he feels like no child basically should be killed. It was met with mixed reviews. If you watch it, you'll hear the audience. Some people are clapping. Some people are like, hell no, we're not for that whatsoever. So that was the breakdown, because I feel like it was very raw. It was very sensitive. It was very transparent for him to even admit any type of conversation is aborted. But my heart also goes out to North, because now that this has been documented, when North gets of age and gets, more mature, somebody is liable to play that back for her. And if I'm 14, 15, 16, I don't want to hear stories about me possibly not existing on this planet. So I think that there is repercussions that Kanye will have to face, and that Kim will have to face. And again, that goes back to my point about the family. Now that he's brought the family business into his political campaign and his spewing of whatever he's spewing, now you got, some craziness to handle. So it's unfortunate.
Piggyback off what you're saying, Vince. Yes, it is unfortunate that he just, he spoke his truth about North, and now he's gonna have to suffer those repercussions. Him and Kim, once North gets of age to, see this documentary, or document that he recorded. But this is typical Kanye West. I mean, this is the same man who said just 2 years ago that Black people were never slaves. So why is anyone shocked that he even made a comment about Harriet Tubman? Like, don't know why is anyone shocked about that. And I mean, I think it still goes back to Kanye West not really dealing with the fact that his mother passed away and how she passed away. I don't think he ever recovered from that. And, of course, it's something that's terrible that happens to somebody, but I don't think he ever even tried to address the issue that his mom passed away. And I think that plays a big part into his mental issues that he has. But he's just going about in the wrong way, totally the wrong way. So anything that Kanye West says, people should not be surprised or shocked, because I think he's just doing it for publicity, and he just wants attention. And this is how he knows how to use his platform, is to get the attention by making these antics and saying obscene things that makes absolutely no sense.
I'm going to say this, though. I agree with what what CJ said. When it comes to him, he is dealing with a lot of mental issues. It's very, very unfortunate. But I've been counseling Kanye West a long ass time ago. I didn't even watch the clip because I don't want to give him any airtime, as Valerie said. When you are taking pictures with Trump and you do all these other things, why do I want to see anything or hear anything what you got to say? I don't care. So when you got over $2 million in a small business loan, when there's plenty of businesses around here who are struggling, like, I don't want to hear nothing you say. You use your power, you use your mind, you a distraction. I feel like Trump is paying him some money to do what he do. Trump trying to do anything and everything to win this election again, you guys. Please don't watch what the hell, anything that Kanye do. Again, I'm sorry about his mom. I know how they feel to lose a mother, but I just can't fathom that. However, besides that point, he's an idiot. I have nothing for him.
There's a lot of
and I was just gonna say that I truly believe that if Kanye West's mother was still alive to this day, I do not believe that he'd be married to Kim Kardashian, and I do not believe he'd be making the antics that he's doing right now. I truly believe that. And we would have the old Kanye West when he did College Dropout.
Well, CJ, we'll never know if that's the case. Can't make that happen. We'll never know. I don't agree with you, but I can't also argue against it because it's impossible. However,
right, we won't.
But there were so many great things. A lot of people are in our comments saying that you cannot equate what might be meant. There's a lot of things that we do not know to what extent Kanye West is really bipolar. We don't know that because a medical professional hasn't told us that. That's what he said. We also don't know to what extent we don't know what his mom believed, what she thought, because everything that we hear comes from a narrative that this man has created. So again, until I hear from a medical professional where someone will take Kanye, put him in a 72-hour hold, lock him down, medicate him, and then tell me that he has some issues that I can forgive, I gotta say that he's on the same chart as Nick Cannon. I do want to know, what do you think about him selecting possibly Caitlyn Jenner to be his running mate and having the first trans woman vice presidential nominee? That was brought up by Laquita. Let's hear what
There's nothing to say. It's just more foolishness to add to his antics. Why not? Why not? I'm already saying foolishness. So let me go ahead and add someone that's a part of the family that happens to be a trans man to be my VP. It's foolishness.
A trans woman.
It's just foolishness.
Caitlyn Jenner is a woman. You misgendered her. You said that she was a trans man, offending every trans man in America.
Oh, well, woman. I said trans woman.
You called Caitlyn Jenner a trans man.
I said trans woman.
No, you said trans woman.
Man. Okay, well, my apologies, trans woman. But this is my thing. She's a trans woman. Oh, well, trans woman. My apologies. So this is my thing too. So again, it's more foolishness to add to his antics, and to go back on what you were saying about how there's no medical doctor who clinically, diagnosed him with being bipolar. Just think about it. When Kanye, the minute his mother passed away, he started with the whole Taylor Swift, her speech, and snatched the throat. Mother passed away, and that's when everything started happening there after that. Once his mother passed away. But with the whole Caitlyn Jenner thing, that's just a mess too.
Nathaniel, they don't have the highest quality Wi-Fi in Connecticut. It's very, very far north. With that being said, we have to talk about, and this is why I really, really wanted Valerie to hang out with us and stick with us, because we're getting to. They literally just saw the comment because the Wi-Fi is really behind. But we literally lost over the course of this weekend the two giants of the civil rights movement. And we have got to talk about this and talk about how a successor was selected. This past weekend, the United States of America, lost Reverend C.T. Vivian and Congressman John Lewis. And I just want to open the floor to everyone who is viewing, your thoughts and comments on losing these two icons of the civil rights movement, but also to the gentlemen on the panel. Any thoughts, any regards, anything that we can say regarding these two giants before talking about the new replacement?
Yeah, I think you hit it on the nail, Zach. They are icons, and they will go down in history as icons. They have served our community and our culture just so well and so effective and so impactful. And it's unfortunate that we lose these two giants, because I look at where we're in right now, and it's like, who are the people that are going to walk in their shoes? Who are our civil rights icons and our current day civil rights leaders? And they just came with so much heart, so much passion, so much experience. These guys walked alongside Dr. King, John Lewis with the Selma bridge situation, and Cordy was a freedom rider. So there's some iconic people, and I know they'll be treasured, they'll be missed, and I feel that those people, those two specific gentlemen, need statues erected on their behalf, especially in these predominantly black cities, while we tear down everybody else's statue, rightfully so. We need to be erecting some statues of the monuments that we want to see, that we want to take place, that we want to be in our history books. And I think that it definitely should start with these two gentlemen. I do also want to comment on the fact that John was currently working on the Voting Rights Act that has been sitting on Mitch McConnell's desk for quite some time. So I know the Democrats are really trying to push that package. I think they formulated it into a package now and expanded it, if you will. So hopefully that'll be passed in his honor, and rightfully so. So yeah, that's my take on it. They'll definitely be missed.
You know, and this, I just want to briefly add this in because Rashonda brought up to keep them in the curriculum, and then my very good friend Annette brought this up. And I just, you know, very, very briefly, I won't do this often, but I have to do it tonight because it's so relevant. This is the highlight. This is my 18th year in education. The highlight, I have done a number of things in that school, and the number one thing that I did was teaching children. But the biggest highlight in my post-classroom career was writing curriculum units for the city of Atlanta and incorporating John Lewis in the curriculum so that every single 7th grade student in the city of Atlanta would know who he was and his legacy. John Lewis came to the school system. He had a symposium where he spoke to all the 7th graders who were in attendance. He gave out copies of his graphic novel, March, to the students, and we then studied for a 9-week period of time. We read the graphic novel, they discussed the graphic novel, they wrote about the graphic novel, and they explored the civil rights movement right here in Atlanta. That really was the highlight of my time in central office administration. And I'm so thankful that I did that, and I challenge other educators to do the exact same thing. It really, really was. And so it's heartbreaking that we lost them. Opening up the floor, gentlemen, to your thoughts on these giants.
I want to say this, Rashonda, coming from Mississippi, our curriculum, we didn't really focus on Black people. Only thing we were taught in Mississippi was that we were slaves and we came from Africa. And you learned about Harriet, Martin Luther King, and we didn't even touch on Malcolm X. Just keeping it real. So it saddens me that I did not really know about any of these guys until I moved to Atlanta. I'm just going to be very open and transparent. So I would like to see, and Zach, that is wonderful what you did. That is so beautiful. I would like to see that when it comes to public education, private education, charter school, whatever you homeschooling, that we put more in about Black people. It needs to be more about our civil rights leaders, because unfortunately, it was just more than just Harriet Tubman and Dr. Martin Luther King. So we need to shed light on everyone. I mean, we learn about all kind of white people, European descendants, in our history book. Why do we don't know about 3 at the most for Black people? That's horrible. And I want to say to these men, thank you for what you have done. You have given me a voice to talk on. You have given me a right to vote. You have marched me with many who did not want to march. And I just, and in my heart goes to their families. But if you are a lineage of either, if you are a lineage of either of those two, you are extremely blessed and highly favored. I just want to say that it's a lot. Like, that's all I have to say.
Rodney,
I'm not going to address that, Zach, because this is a good moment, and you are not going to.
I agree, Rodney. It is a good moment, and I agree with you.
You are mute tonight, Zach. Thomas. Thanks for the view.
Sorry. So very, very briefly, gentlemen, I actually have several Facebook posts. So for those of you who are Facebook friends of mine that I'm going to post, I will also post them on our Five Guys on Live page so anybody can watch, because sadly Facebook has limited my number of Facebook friends. Although I delete people every day because they say dumb stuff that I can't handle seeing on my timeline, like about Trump or, really stuff I just can't handle. But I want to say that, John Lewis and C.T. Vivian lay out the way they live their life and the way they fought their fight inspires me. And I know that I've taken heat on the live from you guys. Earlier today, we talked about Nick Cannon. These men would not in any way support the hate speech that Nick Cannon let roll out of his mouth. And let me give you evidence. Do you guys know that John Lewis, who was in the original March on Washington, refused to speak in 1995's Million Man March because he could not support and he could not endorse the hateful rhetoric of Minister Louis Farrakhan? Yet and still, all of a sudden, because we're in a pro-Black woke moment, we are supporting that kind of speech and allowing people like Minister Louis Farrakhan to reach a brand new audience of young people, and what I believe perpetuate further anti-Semitic views and some hate. That's what Zachary's belief. John Lewis wouldn't stand for it. He wouldn't march with it. He couldn't condone it. C.T. Vivian worked and founded, I want to say it was a young white woman from Kentucky. He worked with her and founded a whole entire organization that was dedicated to anti-Klan work.
Okay. Yep.
Yes, he didn't do it by himself. He didn't say we the Black community must stand apart and we the Black community must be isolated and we must fight the fight alone as Black people. He knew that we needed allies, and he knew that we had to join hands with our friends to make an impact on this nation. The day hasn't come where we don't still need allies. These men laid down a whole playbook around how to create the beloved community where we don't have to fight racism, poverty, and homelessness because America will be full of decent people that will not allow those institutions to exist. Additionally, when you look and you think about the legacy that they left behind, there's a lot of work that we still have to do, and we have to pick up the mantra. John Lewis was a founding member of the Student Nonviolent, the SNCC. I forget what the acronyms completely stand for. It fails me at the moment because I'm getting old. That's why I'm drinking my tea here that has some, what's that stuff for the brain? It's not echinacea. It's echinacea. What is it?
Ginkgo.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you. Right. I'm the oldest person. I'm the oldest person here, so I need my ginkgo biloba to keep my brain as fresh as possible. But here's the thing: he was a founding member of the SNCC, and he was removed from leadership 5 years after founding it by Stokely Carmichael. Now, I am not in any way wanting to disparage Stokely Carmichael. I'm not, or Kwame Ture, whatever you want to call him, whatever he went by both towards the end of his life. He has gone on to heaven. He also may rest in power. He's an ancestor and a legend in the community. But he was the founder of the Black Power movement. When you think about the impact of Black Power and you think about the impact of nonviolent resistance, you tell me which one has left an enduring legacy on America. No one is saying let's erect statues that I know of to celebrate the life of Stokely Carmichael. But we are right now saying let's erect statues to the life of John Lewis. It's about being on the right side of history. It's about standing up for what's right when it's not right. When you look at pictures of John Lewis being arrested, you see that he had a smile on his face because he knew that in the moment he was being oppressed, he was being battered, he was being beaten, but he knew that in the long haul, he was doing the right work and that the world would recognize him in the right way because he did what was right. If we do what is right, we will always be on the right side, always. And with that, that might be a good time to segue into seeing if the Democratic Party of Georgia did the right thing today by selecting this young lady to replace John Lewis. Nikema Williams. Senator Nikema Williams, what are our thoughts here?
That's who won, Zach? That's who won?
That is correct. Senator Nikema Williams is the Georgia State Senator for District 39, which encompasses, I want to say, like Old National, East Point, College Park, that part of Fulton County, moving south. That's right. So Nikema, she moved to Atlanta. She's not a native, but she's been for a very long time. She was selected by the Democratic Party of Georgia, but she's also the leader of the Democratic Party of Georgia. This morning, they announced 5 finalists. Those finalists included LGBTQ advocate and activist Park Cannon. It included Major James Woodall, the president of the Georgia NAACP, and Nakima Woodman, 2 other individuals, but those are the 3 that stood out to me. And Nakima is the one who won the actual nomination. There's a lot of there's not a lot of controversy. I've noticed that many Georgia Democrats have fallen in line real quick, but there are some people that are not pleased with the process or the result. I want to know if you guys had any opinion about it thus far.
Let me say this: when you over something, I'm gonna keep it real. If I'm over something, I'm not gonna lose. Period. Don't let me be the head of any committee and you think I'm gonna come second place to anybody. So it is what it is. But I really wanted Park Cannon to win. I never seen this lady a day in my life. I didn't see her any rallies, any marches, nothing. But I did see Park Cannon. I did see the guy who was on NAACP. That's what I want to. I'm all about action, people, and not to take away what this lady done for the community because I don't know her. But what I can speak of who I've seen when I was out there marching, who I stood out to giving speeches and doing things when needed to be done. It's a lot of Black people who are in office that did not step a foot outside their house. Now, again, unless you had a medical reason and you was at, you know what I'm saying, you was scared of COVID like that. But if you had constituents and you needed your voice needed to be seen, your face should have been out there. I have never seen this like that in my life, and I'm very good friends with people in the Capitol. And Zach, you can attest to that. So for me not to even know who you are, baby girl, that speak volume. But like I said, if I was ahead of anything, I would not have lost. Period.
You know, Rodney, I'm going to say, Vince, you can. So, Rodney, she has a background. She served as the vice president of public policy for Planned Parenthood Southeast, and she has been a Georgia senator since 2017. Some people say that even that was not enough experience to warrant this recognition. Vince, you were going to say.
And I also just read that after the 2018 governor election, she protested at the Capitol and got arrested. She was on the front lines and believes in being on the front lines of just anything. I'm assuming after reading what the report on CNN on doing what's right. So I don't know much about her as well, unfortunately, but yeah, we'll see. At this point.
Yeah. So, you know, her constituents love her. Nakima won by a very large margin, and then she won re-election also by a very large margin. So her constituents in Fulton County do like her. They support her. They endorse her. Many Georgia Democrats speak very, very highly of her. This is my issue with the process. I love the process. I love the democratic process or the House of Rep process. In any state, when a senator passes away, the governor appoints a replacement. I would have been heartbroken. I would have been heartbroken if Governor Brian Kemp would have appointed someone to replace the legend that is Congressman John Lewis. So I'm thankful that the law states for the House of Representatives that the replacement is selected by the party leadership and then placed on the ballot in an election year. So I'm very, very thankful for that. But what I'm not happy about is the fact that whoever got this, to me, should have been a placeholder. It should have been someone temporarily placed there for 2 years, and then the other people who wanted the opportunity would have been able to campaign for 2 years to actually win the seat. Nakima does not deserve to be just given the title of incumbent in Georgia's most Democratic district, and actually, according to some sources, the most Democratic district in the United States of America. I live in the Georgia 5th Congressional District, and I can't say that I am going to support her for re-election. I'm going to support her in November. But if a better candidate steps up and emerges, I am going to support the better candidate. To me, anyone who again, I don't know enough about Park Cannon to say that Park Cannon is the person I was for who was qualified. I'm saying that I don't care who it was. It could have been Park. It could have been James Woodall, who I taught James Woodall. I was his teacher. I taught James Woodall at Eagles Landing High School when he didn't graduate from there, but he went there. He moved to Clayton County. I knew the man when he was a teenager. I wouldn't be supporting him either if he would have taken this position to run again in 2022. I feel like whoever got it should have just had it for 2 years and then stepped down to allow the actual voters to place the person in office, or step down in January after being appointed and then have a special election called. That is fair. The voters have a right to fill this very, very important seat.
I agree. Yeah.
So Rodney, F. Murray Ford also talks about Park Cannon. I don't know a lot about Park. Tell me a little bit about Park Cannon.
Let me tell you about Park Cannon. I met her through Representative Erica Thomas. I like a candidate who, to me, is relatable. You can speak politics and you can speak real life. You get what I'm saying? When I need to see your face on an issue, whatever going on, you are first in line. If I would encourage anyone, because I feel like her actions speak louder than my words. Do your research on Park Cannon, you will see why I feel like she was the better candidate for that position to go up under John Lewis. That's just how I feel.
So, gentlemen, we're going to open the floor now to any other things happening in the world that you want to bring to the table, and also for any of our livecast viewers that you want to bring to the table, because this anything out there you want us to join or get opinions or thoughts on, this is now the time to do it. Take it away, gentlemen.
I don't have nothing.
Cynthia, go away.
That's a good, you bring up Cynthia. I'm assuming that's a reference to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Rodney, you have posted a lot today about Monique, and you're very excited for Monique.
I was going to talk about that, yes.
I know that you have a lot of respect for Monique. What I want to know, one, your thoughts on Monique. You gave a lot of praise to her today on Facebook, but I also want to know your thoughts about her possibly being on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And before anybody says she said she wasn't going to be on the show, she said she wasn't going to replace Nene. She still very well might end up on the show because, again, with Bravo, you never know. I just want to know your thoughts on that. Rodney, tell us about it.
Well, I don't really care about Housewives. I just want to talk about when it comes to Miss Monique. She went against the grain, you guys. A lot of our Black people spoke out against her for trying to get more money. Again, we have some Black people to sell their soul for $1, as long as they get something done. But Miss Monique said, no, baby, I'm worth it. And I'm not even going to go down the line of why I feel like she should have been given more money, because Monique has put in the work. And it goes to show you, this why I feel like her testimony was to me. No matter who corporation against you, no matter what the person is, no matter how strong, how tall or powerful you think they are, you can prevail against evil. And I want to say Netflix was evil for that. And it hurt my heart to see Steve Harvey not stand behind his sister. He told her, shut the hell up and do what the white man tell her to do. But good old Monique said, hell no, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. And if all the Black people spoke out against her, said she dumb, she irrelevant, she did, and sometimes we could be our worst critics. I'm gonna call it like it is, call it spade a spade. Y'all Black folks sometimes can be too much. Just keep it like it is. But I am so happy that she is on the verge of winning this lawsuit. She's on the verge of getting her well-due respect and her well-due. I'm just happy. I can't speak too much. I said too much already today. But
tell us why you think she's some bull, like emoji. Tell us why you think that.
I want to interject. I wholeheartedly 5,000% agree with Rodney. I've been Team Monique since the beginning. I was watching the Parkers last night. I absolutely love what she's contributed to the culture. I love her caring, loving, compassionate spirit. I still think that she has been the best host for the BET Awards, and she needs to host that award show every single year. And what I find very funny, I don't know if you all seen this, but Viola Davis has a YouTube video of, I think she was at some type of workshop or something, and she was commenting on how people equate her in the industry as the Black Meryl Streep, and how she's had the same background, the same come up, the same accomplishments, the same opportunities. We're not saying, but the same.
Went to Yale, went to Juilliard, and you said the Black Meryl Streep, but you don't.
But for me, right? But for me, Viola Davis was saying the exact same thing that Monique was saying. But Monique just wanted to, as Rodney said, go against the grain and ask for more money, which she deserved. You get what I'm saying? So for Viola not to get that pushback, and for Viola not to be blackballed, and for Viola to still get bookings and still, work the scene that she is, and she's saying the exact same thing that Monique is saying, it's highly unfortunate. So I definitely agree with Rodney on this one. She deserves everything. She deserves it.
DJ, you got anything? You gonna talk about Nikki, baby?
It don't matter if she's not on the same level as Viola. Y'all was preaching about this earlier. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Give people their coin, give people their money. And she's put on her work. You get what I'm saying? I mean, she has the Academy Award. She has the NAACP Award. She has the SAG Award and all these other awards and stuff like that. So I truly feel that she has the right to demand what she demanded. And that's real.
Every time I see Monique,
let me say this, and I'm not a big Beyonce fan, but I respect her. Let Beyonce be gone for 20 plus years, and she come back. Y'all gonna pay Beyonce her money, and I feel like Monique, like Ben said, has put in her damn work. If she take a 10-year break, it's still MF and Monique. Okay, so pay Mama her money. Period.
Yeah, I mean, I get, I really with Monique, Valerie, I'm still gonna watch The Real Housewives of Atlanta if Monique is on the show, and then I'll decide if I like her on the show or not. But I will say this: I agree with James about it's how you do things sometimes that make an impact. But I do agree that she deserves her funding, her money, whatever the case may be. All I know is that she said she did not use deodorant, and so every time I see her, I feel like she might be musty. I know I'm not saying that she's musty. I'm just saying that ever since she made that statement, I can't get that out of my head. I'm telling you what I envision when I see her, because she says she doesn't shave her underarms and she doesn't wear deodorant. I'm just telling you what I remember.
That's your woke community right there, y'all. See how the woke community
seared into my brain.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. I think whatever one of the followers said that what you just said, Zach, that it's about how you play it. And I think that was her whole argument. It's like, but why am I having to play with y'all? Why is my talent politicized? Why are y'all prostituting my gift? You can give somebody that has not done as much as I have more than me, and I still got to play the game right. You get what I'm saying? Like that's crazy to me. Like, why are we having to do politics over?
Amy Schumer is not that damn funny, and she almost got half the surface of what Monique has put in. And I mean, I'm just keeping it real. So Monique, if you feel like I'm as good as oh my God, what's these people's name? Chris Rock or what's the guy's name? I cannot think. He's so funny to me.
Oh, this is draining right here. Oh my God, my brain.
I can't think right now. But
I hope it's not Kevin Hart. I hope the person you're
no, he's not long enough.
Because Kevin Hart, Eddie Murphy.
He make fun of like when
Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle.
Williams?
She is with Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is one of the funniest men alive. And I feel like you paying Dave Chappelle that money, she deserves that much as well. I'm just keeping it real. Monique been in game since the 90s.
This is crazy.
Are there any other topics before we call it a night, gentlemen? Into topics. We have had, I think, some great discussion. Vince?
I'm just curious about how you all felt about the NFL playing the Black National Anthem before the Week 1 games. Like, how do you think that is going to be received from the American public, from Trump, from everybody? It's been a huge debacle around the NFL stances, and they've recently, switched gears and supported the movement for Black Lives and stuff like that. So I'm really curious to see how this looks come September?
I want to say it's about damn time. And if you want black folks to watch, you want the players to play, now people ain't doing that no more. You see what happened in Mississippi? They changed the whole flag because the players said we ain't playing on this flag no more. People, I'm glad that people are being Monique. People are speaking up and demanding their respect. So I think they do it for the next 10 years. Play the black national anthem. Play it. Why not? I'm here for it.
You know, first of all, it's only during the preseason, right? Number one. But it is definitely a step in the right direction. Every single American needs to know lift every voice and sing by James William Johnson, not because it's the Negro or Black national anthem, but because it is a cornerstone of the American fabric. It is a part of the American identity, and it teaches you very valuable lessons that you need to know. You need to the Black national anthem, lift every voice and sing. Every time I hear it, it almost brings me to tears. Every time I read the poem, it almost brings me to tears. And you're talking to a man who loved his grandmother, the love of my life, the light of my life, and shed no tears at the service because I was being shown with my family. So I'm not a crier. I'm not a very emotional person in public. But the song and the lyrics and the words always touch me. And that is something that all of America needs to be exposed to. It's criminal that white people, Asian people, members of the Latinx community don't know that song and its rich heritage and rich history. Everyone should be exposed to the song, everybody. And I applaud the NFL for doing it, although I still don't support or endorse them. But I'm thankful they did it, but I have no support and love for the NFL. To be honest, James, a lot of people have made comments, make a good point. The majority of the NFL players, many athletes, a lot of Black people are what makes this organization rich, wealthy, and function. And for them to have taken the stance they took, that even caused the Take a Knee movement, I think, to me, again, that's why I can't support them.
CJ, anything in the media you want to talk about?
No, I have nothing to say.
Nothing. No.
I am over Verizon right now, so other than that, I'm okay.
That's unfortunate. You got that. I will say this for Nikki. I'm not a huge Nikki fan, but I am happy for any woman who found the love of their life. And she's pregnant. I want to say kudos to her. I'm not going to speak bad about her. I'm not going to compare to Cardi B and all this. Like, that's foolishness. This lady's happy she's pregnant at the age of, 38, 37? How old is she? Like, that's kind of,
We're talking about Nikki now, Laquita. So Rodney is bringing Nikki and this baby up. Rodney, I don't even know what. I didn't even know she had a baby. When did the baby come? Who's the daddy?
No, she's pregnant.
Who's the daddy?
She's pregnant, and I'm excited for her because I feel like every woman who wants to have children should have children. And I never. You know what? To be honest, you guys, I never understood that it was out there who found it hard to get pregnant because women in my family are very fertile. I never understood it until I got older and got around other people where people have been trying for years. So I feel like when you are able to be blessed with a baby, there's
absolutely.
So I'm happy for Nikki. I really am.
I'm really curious to see how this baby will change the trajectory of her career. Honestly, I feel like because she's been, I'll say, laying low, if you will, because of her pregnancy. I feel that City Girls and Meg Thee Stallion have pretty much dominated the raunchy female rap category, which we know Nicki was very prominent in. So I'm curious to see if Nicki will sort of tap into her being more of a lyricist, and rap more about. She's pregnant. I think she's married. But all in all, I'm very curious to see just how this baby will change her optics and how she moves in her lyrics and in her material. And I think it may even calm her down because I know that last era, I think that Queen era, whatever album that was, the last thing that she put out, she was very out there. She was very, very making some noise and making some big stirs and some headlines. So I'm curious to see how this baby would change.
So and there's a Vince. I want you to address this right here for us because Valerie said that her career was on the downslide, and I want you to address that because I'm not a Nicki Minaj. I'm not a Barb. I'm not a Nicki Minaj fan. I'm not a fan because of how she acts, of what things she said, things that
hold on.
I'm going to let you address it in a moment. I'm going to mute myself. I'm just laying the foundation for the conversation. I'm not a fan, but I know she has some good music. I want you to address about the career on downslide. I'm going to mute, but I just want to say, look now, Candace, I know that Black women get married, so don't make such an awful accusation. I just didn't know that Nicki Minaj got married because I know that she had the Meek Mill stuff and Drake and all type of sex and stuff. I just didn't know. And I saw something about her dating a guy who went to jail for child abuse, but I didn't know to what extent. Go ahead and tell us. I'm going to mute Rodney and Vince. Y'all take it away.
Let me say this because I think it's very unfortunate. Now, I don't know if this is his case, but I'm going to tell you about a case that happened where I'm from in Mississippi, in Gulfport to be exact. This guy was, I want to say, 17 and a half years old, and he was dating somebody. He was a junior, and this girl was a freshman in high school. So she was 15, he was 17 and a half. Her parents, unfortunately, she was a white girl. He was a black boy. They were playing football. Unfortunately, her parents caught them too having sex. Now, I don't think this pedophile any type of way because they go to the same school, they're around the same age, 2 years different. So I don't think it's fair that you walked your whole life being a pedophile, having sex with somebody you go to school with. Does that make sense? So if that is his case, I feel for him. I don't know. I have not done the research on that. But if that's the case, I don't want to hear anybody talk about anybody pedophile because you don't know the reason why they got put into that pedophile stage or that pedophile name in front of their name. Do your research on stuff. That's don't talk about stuff and you know what you're talking about. But that's wrong. I don't think Nick would date any man who would like. I don't think Nick would not date anyone if they was a pedophile like he was 3 years old and the girl was 15. Now that's nasty. I don't think Nick is that damn dumb. So if that's the situation that this man is in, I feel for him because there's a lot of black men in that situation and they can't get out of it.
For me, I didn't dig into that story neither about her husband and that whole kind of thing. I just like to talk about pop culture and charts and Billboard and stuff like that as an entertainer myself. I'm very curious to see, like I said, how Nicki's career will pan out. I think one of the viewers said that her career was on the downhill, the downslide, whatever. However, she did score 2 #1 hits. Her first 2 #1 hits in her entire career, like the past month or so, which is major.
But she was featured. That's a difference.
I know she was featured.
She's a good feature.
Hold on. I know she was featured, and that is a major difference.
It's over.
And that's a major difference, but she still scored those #1 hits. One thing that we cannot negate is that Nicki definitely broke down barriers. She definitely elevated the optics of a female rapper in today's rap culture, in today's pop culture and stuff like that. So in a lot of people's eyes, and even in the industry's eyes, she is viewed as an icon. And once you get that title, then I do expect that she will have some type of longevity in her career to her name. I don't see her maybe putting out as many projects as she has when we first got to know her, if you will. But I think that she'll probably be on the Beyonce level. She's doing it because of the Beyonce mindset. I'm doing it because I can. I'm doing it because I love it. I have nothing to prove. I got my #1s. I got my awards. I sold out arenas. I've done more. Everybody saying that I'm filling off. You never been on. So you can't comment on my life. You get what I'm saying? So I think that's going to be just her move right now. And then, like I said earlier, City Girls is making some great coverage. Meg Thee Stallion is making phenomenal coverage. Other amazing female rappers are coming out there. Missy Elliott is still, Lizzo, Eve is still in the mix. You get what I'm saying? So there is a good, resurgence and consistency happening from the female rap culture, which I think is a beautiful thing to see. So I don't think her career is on the downslide. I just think that she's at the place where she ain't got to prove to y'all nothing, because she done did it all already.
She's done it. I think that makes a very valid point. It's a great time to conclude. We've had, I think, a really great round of discussion tonight. We thank everybody for joining us on tonight's live cast. It's going to be a lot of things happening this week. It's a big week in the news. Please, number one, join the official Five Guys on Live Facebook group and drop in things that you want to see us explore, address, and comment on. And also, we want you to join our Five Guys Live Facebook page so that you can then see updates and different things that we have going. We definitely want you in the group. We definitely want you to like the page, join the page. We will always stream live from the page, and we will always engage in the group. So it's been a great time for us. And so wait, I gotta share this comment. I just, oh my goodness.
Yes, she is. Missy is a beast. She comes back at the appropriate time to remind us that she will always be that chick, and she'll move on.
See, Valerie, this is something else that we agree on, right? Look at us. Like, we're in alignment with another agreement. Take it away, Vince. This is a Cardi B versus Nicki.
You know what? I will never ever participate in any conversation. Cardi versus Nicki, Brandy versus Monica, Deborah Cox versus Tamia, NSYNC versus Backstreet Boys, Gladys versus
Whitney versus Mariah.
I will never participate. I thoroughly believe that you can have your favorite artist and you can still support everyone.
Meg.
I believe I don't go in those conversations, because that causes the strife and the divide, and we as the public hype that bull up, and then when people lose their life and get to fighting and get to spatting, because the same person that make that comment be holding Cardi and Nicki at this higher standard. Well, why they responding that way? Because you sat up here trying to put them up against each other. You get what I'm saying? So it's like who you like, love who you love. Everybody can win. And that's how I feel about it across the board. Like that shit is irritating. I'm sorry. My bad.
And that's a valid opinion, Vince. It is. Team Hotties with Meg Thee Stallion. So with that being said, everybody, thank you for joining us. Let us know some topics that you want. I'm going to have a whole slew of them. Have a great week. Rest of the week, y'all.